In these videos, I'm talking a lot about truth and love, okay? Now, whose truth? The Creator's truth, right? God's truth. And if God has a view and a character and a personality and nature on what is loving behavior, then that means that from our human perspective, there actually is an absolute truth. Now, you don't have to believe that. In fact, most people don't. And that's why each individual person carries around with them their own personal truths, right? But, and by the way, everyone has their own free will to do that. The Creator honors our free will to be totally out of harmony with love from her perspective, okay? But when we're talking about words like truth and love, we should recognize that, like, when I say it, I'm talking about not my own personal views, but the Creator being's views, okay? Same thing with love. The Creator has her own method, her own substance of love that she wants to share with her children that is not like human love, okay? There is a natural love that each human has the ability to share with other beings here that is a powerful substance, but it is not the same as God's love. God's love is a totally different thing. And the reason why I'm making these videos is to teach the principles to how you can experiment to receive that love, okay? Now, as we talked about before, the equation of how to receive God's love is humility, which is the desire to own and feel all of your own emotions, plus truth, the absolute Creator's view of the truth, equals God's love, okay? So if we accept our own emotions and we feel out our garbage, rather than hide from it or deny it, and we live in the Creator's view of truth, we have the Creator's love that is available to us in spades, which is, it's unlike any other feeling you've ever experienced, okay? I'm not even going to waste my time with words. You can experiment for yourself, okay? Now, you hear things a lot like, the truth hurts, Or, another one is ignorance is bliss. A lot of people love to say that one, Or people like to say, perception is reality, right? Well, on this video, we're going to stick to, does the truth hurt, okay? And, I hope that as we go through this, that you realize that, why would receiving the Creator's viewpoint harm us? That philosophy doesn't really make sense, okay? So, does the truth hurt? Well, as we've just described, I've defined the truth as the view of the Creator being's understanding of what is loving behavior in any particular situation, okay? So I'm saying that there is an absolute truth, and that's not my view. This is the Creator being's view, all right? Now, a lot of people say the truth hurts, right? Well, if something hurts, we're feeling pain. Well, what does pain mean? From my perspective, pain is feelings that result from our unwillingness to acknowledge and release our own soul-based error. Sin, if you like, for my Christian friends out there. I'll read it again. Pain. Feelings that result from our unwillingness to acknowledge and release our own soul-based error. Unwillingness to acknowledge. That's ignorance. Okay? Denial. That's not bliss. Because you can see that being in a state of ignorance, of unwilling to acknowledge, contributes to pain. Okay? And release our own soul-based error. This part, release our own, gets into self-responsibility. Okay? So once we realize that we've got errors inside of us, it is our responsibility to release them or to take the steps to work to release them, okay? Because you're not going to release it all in one day. I was going to say trust me, but trust is a non-loving emotion. Check out my video on trust. Experiment for yourself, okay? We're in so much error here. We can't go from literally a walking error to being perfect, okay? Because that's part of the goal here, right? When we receive huge amounts of God's love, we actually become perfect humans. And I'll talk about that and what evolution really is in a future video, okay? But for now, does the truth hurt? Okay. Now, what's an example of pain? What's happening? Like, let's say like you break your leg, and now you've got to feel your pain. Well, what's really happening there? Well, from the Creator's perspective, your movement is being restricted. And as we discussed on the What is Morality video, that is how the Creator attempts to correct her children. That is how she lovingly disciplines us, by restricting our movement and behavior, right? So if you're in a lot of pain, you are, like if you break your leg, you can't go swim in the ocean. If you break your leg, you can't ride your bike and have fun. If you break your leg, you can't dance. And all of those activities are fun, okay? And that means that if you are feeling that kind of pain, your ability to experience fun is restricted, okay? Until you feel out your pain, right? Theoretically, and your body heals itself, and then you go about living your life, okay? But that's not really how we heal, We allow our bodies to repair and then go about our day without addressing our soul-based errors, okay? Now, when you come across someone who is in error, and you maybe express some truth to them, okay? They may feel an energetic dissonance in their gut, okay? Like literally a Oftentimes people will hear that or experience that, and they will say, hey, the truth hurts. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Truth hurts, okay? What's really going on there? Well, first of all, part of our design is to resonate with the truth, okay? Because again, the truth is a precursor to receiving God's love, okay? So inherently, we want to know the truth about everything, okay? However, it is the layering up of emotions that build up inside of us that create a situation where we do not want to work through our suppressed emotions to get to the truth to feel God's love, okay? So we can live in error and have these huge amounts of error build up inside of us, okay? And then when someone comes along and tells us the truth about something that's going on, it is incredibly confronting to us. Sometimes we can't even hear it. We put our fingers in our ears and walk away. If you were really comfortable with everything that you were doing, you would be able to listen to anyone says without judgment. It wouldn't bother you at all, right? If you really know something in your soul, and we'll talk about knowing versus believing in another episode. If you really know, then there's nothing anyone can say that will affect you in a negative way. You can always still learn, because this is always a progression, okay? So when people feel that dissonance, they interpret that as pain, and they think that the truth is causing their pain, okay? How about some examples? It's impossible to heal yourself. Let's say someone gets sick. Very common that they'll make it about other people's sympathy, Let's take cancer, for example. You get cancer, you want people to feel sorry for you. You want people to do things for you, right? You want a doctor to care for you. We don't want to take any responsibility for ourselves. And then we wonder, when we look at the medical bills, what is this? Yeah. I have my own personal story with my Earth mother had cancer. She went to a cancer center in Buffalo to receive treatment, okay? She worked in medical administration in her day job, okay? So she would get these bills and they would just have codes and not say what the items actually are, okay? And now again, she's in a dilapidated state from her cancer and her cancer treatment, which was also poison. And she would say, you see this code right here? They've charged me an entire pallet's worth of toilet paper for a month, when she may have only used 3 rolls. That's how the medical industry works, friends. They take advantage of you, and when you are in a weakened condition, they know that you're not going to be in a position to question. You're going to be too scared and too full of fear and too focused on either your health or your family member's health to put up any kind of reasonable resistance to this. But they know they got you because why? Because you're addicted to having someone else care for you and solve your problems. When people engage in Western medicine, they do not want to be told that you have the ability to heal yourself. Because what does that mean? That means all the beliefs that they inherited from their parents are errors, and they would have to confront them. It means all of their actions and all of the pain they put themselves through are errors. How about this? I don't know how. Why would God design a system where only the most intellectually brilliant minds are able to discover her truths? I don't think it was designed that way. I think that humans complicate it. Literally, God has designed her system so that any child can understand it. Feel out your emotions. How hard is that? You know? Literally, when you release grief, your soul vibration changes. So, for all my parent friends out there, when your children are crying and it upsets you, they are attempting to heal themselves. And in your discomfort, you prevent them from healing themselves. You tell them not to cry. Or you bribe them so they don't cry. They're attempting to release their grief, and you're preventing that from happening. If I only had the proper medicine. We talked about medicine in the last video. This gets back to the false belief about having resources, right? That there's something external outside of me that I need to be able to heal myself. Why would God create a situation where we need something outside of ourselves? Everything we need is here. But we don't actually believe that. So if someone says to you, I'm sick, and then you tell them the truth, you have the ability to heal yourself. That is going to create a dissonance inside of them where they don't want to admit that that is the truth. So going back to our question, does the truth hurt? Let's look and see where this falls on our layers of emotion, okay? Because we know, as we've talked about, that we have causal grief that we start developing from the time we're conceived in the womb, when we start inheriting the imperfections of our parents. Then we do not feel out our grief, and terror builds up inside of us, or fear, okay? And we immediately create addictions cover our terror. So, when someone says the truth hurts, what they're really saying is, I am addicted to my own worldview that is in error, and I expect you to meet that worldview and comfort me. And if you don't meet my worldview and comfort me, then I am going to start dipping into my own terror. And that is why people think the truth hurts. Friends, the truth doesn't hurt. What hurts is releasing your errors. Okay? That's what hurts. The truth is loving. The truth is loving. Why do I know that? Because the Creator loves us. And therefore, her point of view is always going to be loving. Remember, God designed this place, okay? God designed the laws and the rules and the energy that holds this place together, okay? Including law of attraction, right? Law of cause and effect, all these laws, okay? That we're subjected to, that we ignore. And then, we go around full of error, and we don't even know this, so we don't even know how to interpret this, okay? Like, we just accept that there's like human truths that we're all going to die, or that everybody gets sick. Those are not God's truths. Those are human truths. And we have all bought into them because we have been forced to. They've been forced upon us. But now that you are an adult using your own free will, it's time to take responsibility for what is inside of your soul. Okay? Now, if you decide to do that, here's how it goes, right? Challenging your addictions will create a situation where you will feel your fear. And by feeling your fear, what do I mean by that? I mean, find a comfortable space and set aside some time, because you are going to collapse on your bed and shake in the fetal position. And that's totally cool. That is loving behavior, because you're treating yourself well. When you feel that fear, you're releasing it. And think about it. If it was inside of you the whole time, that means you're walking around living in fear. But as you start addressing it and it starts coming out of you, you start becoming lighter. You have the ability to uncover suppressed memories. You have the ability to increase your intellect. All kinds of interesting things happen when you start feeling out your fear. Okay? And then, of course, when you get through your fear, you can touch into your grief and cry out your sadness. Now, this happens. I mean, ultimately, we're probably going to have to do this thousands of millions of times, maybe, if we want to be perfect, right? Because in every area, every belief that we hold is in some kind of error, okay? But I just want to make this video to highlight the principle that this is an erroneous statement here, okay? The truth doesn't hurt. The truth is loving. What hurts is releasing our error, okay? Good luck, friends. Love and peace.